I'm going to be talking you through the 7 deadly sins that coaching businesses do and service businesses do that stops them from getting leads. The moment you can see a problem is the moment you can start to fix a problem and solve a problem. How I do my nutrition, how I do my training, how I set up for this exercise. Am I doing that, or am I explaining the what, the when and the why? You only know an offer is good enough when it keeps the founder up at night. I don't need to advertise, I don't need to market. My service is so good that everyone's going to find out about me anyway. The more leads you get, the more potential clients you have, the more sales you make, the more your business grows. So whether you like it or not, you might as well realize you're doing it and become good at it. Can you describe the daily life of your dream client, your target audience? Can you literally tell me what they are going to be doing every single day? Alright guys, welcome back to another video today with Work-Life Unbalance. Today I'm going to be talking you through the 7 deadly sins that coaching businesses do and service businesses do that stops them from getting leads, or as much leads as they could. What does leads mean? The more leads you get, the more potential clients you have, the more sales you make, the more your business grows, right? If you can't generate leads, or you're not generating as much as you can, then you're just slowing down the potential growth of your own business. So I'm going to show you today, these are, when I say deadly sins, these are sins that most of you are actually committing without realizing it. And if you realize it, first of all, the moment you can see a problem is the moment you can start to fix a problem and solve a problem. So I'm going to highlight to you a lot of problems today, 7 of them, and number 7 is going to be one you can action immediately, and I want you to do it today. I want you to do it over the next couple of days, and it's going to generate a lot more leads from you from your current phone that you've got in your hand. Literally, it's going to be easy, and it's something you're not doing. I know you're not doing it, and you could be doing it a lot better than you are right now. So just to give you a bit of context as well, the reason I've learned these things is because I've struggled for the last 10 years growing and scaling a business. We scaled PB Academy, a fitness coaching service, to a team of coaches and a sales system where we got over 250 plus active clients, and we're currently in the process of scaling that further. So this is something that you can do, you can apply to your business, and I've learned it the hard way. We've also got a physical location gym, totally different business. So we've just learned along the way, right? But if you don't want to go through that 10 years of painful experience, I've lost a lot of money learning the hard way as well, a lot of dangerous and bad decisions that I wish I didn't make, but it is what it is, you learn. But if there was videos out there like this, I would have definitely made a lot less mistakes, and I would have got there much quicker, much quicker. I know that for a fact. Today I want to talk you through this. It applies specifically to coaches in the context I'm going to give, and the examples I'm going to give because it's from my background, but any service business, any online service business will be able to apply these same methods because they're principles. It's very easy to apply. So let's just walk through it then, right? Number 1 I'm going to talk about is something that you've probably heard me talk about before. Most of you probably on YouTube have not heard of me or heard me talk about this before because my channel is very new. So I'm going to explain this again, right? And this is the target audience, okay? And I know you're already thinking, oh, I've heard this 1,000 times, potentially from other people talking about it. But the problem is, number 1, we don't need to be taught new things all the time. We just need to be reminded of the things that we're not currently doing that we already know. Okay? So just think about what I just said there. Now, target audience. The reason I repeat it so many times, despite you having heard this all the time, is I speak to so many people that know, oh yes, target audience, dream client, I know I need to be marketing towards that. But when I ask them, who is your target audience? Who is your dream client? They say 25 to 35-year-old men, busy people. I'm like, that's so vague. Right now, in the online world, it's very different to local businesses, okay? I've got the perfect example because I'm running the gym locally. We have to be very broad with our marketing because we've got a small pool of the potential customers we have. Online, you've got 5 billion people that are literally online on social media. So for you to stand out, you have to be extremely specific, extremely narrow with who you want. So if you want, below, I've got this sheet so you can apply it. You can use ChatGPT to work with you on it. The principles that we use to define your target audience, your dream client, so you can get more of your dream clients. That sheet is for free below if you want to click the link for target audience. Now, I just want you to realize, the quick way to know if you know your target audience well enough or not is answer me this question. Can you describe the daily life of your dream client, your target audience? Can you literally tell me what they are going to be doing every single day, from hour to hour, every half hour slot in their timetable? What does it look like? What are their stresses like? What is their work like? What is their family like? What's their commitments like? Every single thing about that individual. That's how well you should know your target audience. And then that's who you're speaking to on the other side of every piece of content you film, right? If you don't do that, you're just going to fade into the background, the red ocean of everyone else that's being too vague. You need to be hyper specific, because there's enough of those hyper specific people that you're describing out there to become the ideal customer for you. So fix that first of all, number one. Otherwise you're not going to get seen online, and the word is not going to spread for your people, the people you want to work with. Okay, the second one I'm going to go with is going to be, this comes down to the content then as well. So talking about the how. Okay, so please, I want you to ban that. I literally want you to just take that thought process out of your content. So for your top of funnel content, right, this is literally, I want you to get rid of the how. For your top of funnel content, so if your social media content, for attracting new viewers, for collecting people that are new potential cold leads that haven't become a lead of yours yet, you're just trying to get views online, you don't want to be explaining the how your service works. Now, I know if you're passionate about your service, if you're passionate about getting results, it's so tempting to get drawn into the processes you've got, and the service you've got, and how good your team is and how good the results are. The how of how they get there is not important right now. You need to be focusing on selling them on the what, the when, and the why. Right? I made a video breaking this down much further. It took literally 15 to 20 minutes long, so I can't do this on this video. But you need to understand that from a marketing perspective. Just ask yourself, when you're talking about a subject, if it's a 60-second reel, am I explaining the how of how I get someone results, like how I do my nutrition, how I do my training, how I set up for this exercise? Am I doing that, or am I explaining the what, the when, and the why of why I'm doing it? Okay, that's what you need to be thinking about. So please just ask yourself that question before you go to film a piece of content, and make sure you stay away from the how. The how is only something you teach inside your program, inside your service, because it takes a lot more time. It's in depth, it's boring. People are going to switch off if it's just on the outside. They need to be first sold on the why rather than the how. So focus on the why first with your content, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the pre-sale system. Okay, pre-sales system. So this is what we actually call a welcome pack VSL. But what I noticed is when we were scaling the business, I transitioned from becoming, someone that was doing every single part of the business: customer service, customer success. I was doing delivery, I was doing coaching, I was doing sales, I was doing lead generation, I was doing content, I was doing everything, because you have to at the start. The thing I really struggled to delegate myself from was sales, right? Bringing new people in, collecting money, collecting payments. And you think, well, that's easy, you just get salespeople. But without a system in place, it's never going to work. You're the face of the business, you're doing the content, you're doing everything for lead generation, so your close rate's naturally going to be sky high. So then when you try to delegate that, your close rate's going to drop, you're going to panic, and you're going to think, I better jump back into sales because I don't want to lose all these leads, all these potential new money that I'm going to bring in. So you need to build a system, and the first step of removing yourself and actually having a business that's valuable without you, that runs without you, that grows without you, is having a system in place. So work on that now, because what it does immediately, even if you don't want to hire salespeople, is it allows you to remove half of your time from sales calls, because you remove the pitch entirely. We automate it, we delegate it, and it actually pre-sells all your leads. So it warms them up. So every single person you speak to on a call is a pre-sold customer. They're ready to buy from you. They know, like, and trust you. They know what you do. They know your packages. They're aware of your pricing range. Everything is pretty much done before the call, and then it leads to you either no longer need to take sales calls, or you just close a lot higher in those sales calls, and the calls are much shorter as well, and it increases the show up rate. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you there, but starting to work on a pre-sale system, if you want that as well, framework below, you can get that for free. So that's going to help you build that if you're starting to try and think about, how do I just pre-sell all my leads and not have the business totally reliant on me, right? So that's something to think about. Next thing I'm going to talk about is something I've been talking about lately, which is inconsistent content. Now, I made a video about this yesterday, and all this is about is low effort content is going to win in the short term. Reason being, we need to be more consistent with posting than ever. And when you set yourself the bar of being too high on quality, you're not going to be as consistent as you could be. And number two, you don't even know what quality is yet for your niche. So you might think, oh, highly edited content is what quality is, but realistically, it's all about the scripting. It's about the pre-planning in the video. It's about the pre-production of what you go into the hooks, the content. How is this actually going to get views, and how is it actually going to nurture people throughout my customer journey? So to understand that, you have to first do volume. You have to first do volume, and you have to learn from the volume you're doing, obviously. But set yourself a low bar with expectations for how high the quality is of the content, how high the editing is, and everything like that. Unless you've got buckets of money you can pour into building a content team already. But if it's just you doing it, just get in the habit of doing more pre-planning rather than post-production. So pre-planning is all about just thinking about the topic, thinking about the script, then thinking about what you're going to talk about. You can do that consistently. Don't worry about having this like highly edited process that's going to take you a lot of time, and you're not going to keep consistent with posts. So I'd rather you post once every day, 7 days a week, consistently, rather than setting this high standard of highly edited videos and only posting twice a week. You're going to learn a lot slower, and you're probably going to fall off the wagon, and people aren't going to see you as much, so you're not going to generate as much leads. So focus on the low effort, but put the effort into the pre-production. So that's first thing. Make sure you're consistent with posting, right? Simple. Now, this is something, the next one is something that I see so many people doing, and I think people are starting to realize that now it doesn't really work, right? And this is referrals. I know you're thinking you like referrals, and I love referrals, right? Most of my business towards the end was built on word of mouth, but I was not reliant on it for lead generation, okay? Referrals is something that is fantastic. It's like a snowball effect. Like once you build a business, you start getting great results. People spread through word of mouth. They spread how good you are. And you can have a referral incentive in place as well, a referral scheme. Don't like the word scheme, it sounds bad, but an incentive that incentivizes your current customers to talk about it, where they get a little bit of a kickback or whatever you want to have in place. But being reliant on word of mouth, or worse, having the thought process of, I don't need to advertise, I don't need to market, my service is so good that everyone's going to find out about me anyway. And I don't know who you think you are, but the fact you think everyone knows who you are anyway is like one of the worst narcissistic traits I've probably heard of in the first place. People don't know who you are. That's what advertising is. Advertising is just the process of making known that you exist, right? Showing that you exist and this is what I do. So you need to realize that is part of the engine. If you don't have that in place, you already do. If you're posting on social media, you're advertising, right? You're marketing to an extent. Your brand is being shown. So you doing these things is admitting that it is advertising, it is marketing. So whether you like it or not, you might as well realize you're doing it and become good at it, right? So don't get reliant on referrals, but it is something that is the byproduct of having a great service anyway, which you all should have. You all should have that anyway, and you should be working on obviously providing the results that you're advertising that you get for people. Because if not, you're just a scammer, right? Which I hope you're not if you're on this channel. So you obviously should be getting good results. And then, of course, you want to incentivize referrals, but you don't want to be reliant on that. You want to have great advertising and marketing as well to amplify the fact you've got this great, amazing service in place. And then that's going to just snowball effect with referrals anyway. So don't become reliant on it, realizing you need to advertise and market as well. Become good at those, and your business is going to grow. You're going to help more people. You're going to work with more people. If your service is so good, you want to help as many people as you can. It should be your obligation to do that anyway. So that's something to think about, okay? So don't rely only on referrals, please, and realize you're actually in the business of marketing and sales as well. Next thing I'm going to talk about is something that I think has had the wrong perception because of Alex Hormozi. And Alex Hormozi is someone that has impacted my life, as he probably has impacted your life in many ways, and he is the GOAT when it comes to all things marketing. However, the problem with the tactic that he sold with the offer book and how to create offers is that everyone literally got this book. So everyone in the online service world has probably read this book. If you haven't, I would still suggest reading it. It's a great book. But the problem is when people take it too literally of what he's saying step by step to do, literally everyone started doing it. with these huge promises, and a lot of people obviously under-deliver, right? And it's got to the point now where trust online is so low that people are seeing these huge offers with great guarantees and everything like that, that people they don't even believe it. They actually think it's too good to be true. And also, I've noticed with more sophisticated clients, if you're selling B2B, these big promises or guarantees or money back guarantees don't work as well, because people want to know that the performance is going to be good. They don't want this guarantee of, if it doesn't work, then you get your money back, so it's fine. They don't even want that. They don't want to waste their time, right? It doesn't matter about the money. They don't want to waste their time with working with you. They want to know that it's going to work. They want to trust that it's going to work. So that guarantee of money back doesn't really do anything. So you've got to realize, like, when you put together an offer, you've got to think about your target audience. You've got to know them inside out. You've got to know what's going to make them feel comfortable and what's going to remove the risk from them and actually put the risk on you. Because Sabri Subi said, if an offer, you only know an offer is good enough when it keeps the founder up at night, right? So it should be something that feels uncomfortable for you, because you're taking the risk, but that's going to make them feel less risky. So they're going to be more likely to trust you. And if your service is so good that you get all these referrals, then it doesn't matter, because you've got to deliver on the promise that you're given anyway, which is how it should be. I feel like business should be that way. If you're going out there making these huge promises, or whatever promise you make, you should deliver or over-deliver to get an even better result for them. So if you do that, that's what's going to make your business snowball. So make sure you fix your offer first. And again, the offer is something I like to obsess over. So I've got a link below with a framework and a ChatGPT prompt for you to work with your target audience to build your offer or refine your offer if you've already got one. So you're absolutely nailing it. Okay. So that link is below. And if you have a bad offer, it's like having a bad product, right? If someone doesn't want it, you're going to really struggle to sell it. So you can have all the advertising, pushing all the eyeballs to it in the world. You can have all your reels and clips go viral. If it's all filtered into a shitty offer, it's not going to convert. So if you don't fix your offer towards your target audience, you're going to really struggle to generate leads. So offer positioning is so important. So make sure you fix that. The last one is something I like I said, I promised at the start, you can action this today and it's going to completely change your business in terms of lead flow immediately. Okay. And this is follow up. Okay. Now there's no excuse here, because if you don't have a CRM, which I didn't even know what it was in the first 7 to 8 years of business, right? I didn't even know what a CRM was. So don't worry if you don't know what that means. It's just a fancy way of saying software to keep all of your customer base and the way you interact with customers, and emails, SMS automation, all that fancy techie stuff, right? Now, I did this with Google Sheets to start with. Basically, what you want to do is any lead magnets you've got, or anything you give away, or any interactions or conversations you have, you just make a Google Doc. You just write down the name, you write down the date of the last interaction, and then you write down a date for your next planned interaction. Because if a conversation goes dead, you make sure you naturally follow up. And all you need to do is every day, you filter that date to obviously today's date, and you just text everyone that's on that list. So you never forget to follow up with people ever again, right? And you can continue to do this. You can continue to follow up with people, and you have notes in that G sheet next to their name, so you know what the conversation was about, what's going on. So do you think that if you're dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of people, you're going to remember off the top of your head every single conversation you had? It's nice when you're starting off, right? And you've only got a few interactions, a few clients and stuff like that, and it feels really personal and you feel like you're doing a good job. I get it. You want to stay like that. But be realistic. You're going to naturally have to speak to thousands of people over your lifetime in business. You're not going to remember everything. So if you want to be more personal and you want to be more realistic with your memory, you need a Google Sheet, you need a name, you need a date, you need a follow-up date, and you need notes. You need to be very personal, and people will respect you more. And naturally, over time, your memory will probably get better. When you do bump into those people, you will recall more information from you writing it down and reading it back. So that's something I would do, is have a follow-up G sheet that you make sure you write everyone down. If they got something from you, like a lead magnet, whether it was with us, we had a Fat Loss Bible. If they downloaded that, we would know they've downloaded it. We could ask them, how are you getting on with it? Just be genuine. As if you've bumped into someone in the street and you just start that conversation again. How are you getting on? Ask them about something in the notes. Just be normal. Just be a normal person, okay? No fancy tactics, nothing. Just be genuine. So that's something I want you to do today, is make that G sheet. right? I don't have something to give you for it. I've already given you enough. There's enough links below. But this G sheet, very simple to make, and you can just use it to manage your business, your lead flow especially. So if you don't have a CRM, obviously a CRM does that in a more techy, fancy way. But if you want to just use something really simple, if it's just you starting this business, just have a G sheet with a follow-up list. It's your lead flow management. You need that in place. So I'm not going to ramble on. These are the 7 deadly sins I see people committing with a service business online. If you fix them, I guarantee your lead flow will grow exponentially, and you will have a better business for it. So I hope this helps. If you liked it, comment below something you'd like to see, anything you want to comment about the video, let me know. I hope you liked it. And if you want to grow or scale a service business online, that's what this channel is all about. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you, and I will see you soon.